and thank you for joining us here on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a productive Thursday. Now here's a sneak peek of our edition. Security institutions in Rwanda, including the police and the armed forces, have been commended for their continued role as a foundation for national development. The Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement has expressed deep gratitude for the dignity and high level of participation shown by citizens during the 100-day commemoration period that has marked the 31st anniversary of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. On the international scale, Denmark is the latest European country to extend compulsory military conscription to women as part of a broader trend toward gender-inclusive service in Northern Europe. We are glad to have your company tonight, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali, and I bringing you tonight's English edition is Martina Avera. Let us begin by informing you that in various districts across Rwanda, essential infrastructure projects aimed at improving citizens' welfare and development were officially inaugurated. These projects, built by Rwanda's security forces in collaboration with other institutions, include bridges, water supply systems, and houses for vulnerable families. In Musanze district, the Uganda People's Defense Forces and Rwanda Defense Force jointly provided solar-powered electricity to 115 households in Kawazungu Cell, Musanze sector. These families had been relocated from high-risk zones. Residents expressed gratitude, attributing the development to good governance. In Kigali City's Kicukiro district, a new bridge named Kajete was inaugurated. It connects the sectors of Niboye and Kanombe and was completed at a cost of 42 million Rwandan francs. In Gasabo district, Kinyinya sector, a new early childhood development center was handed over to the community, with residents stating it will significantly improve local livelihoods. In Gorero district, the Minister of Internal Security, Dr. Vincent Biruta, handed over houses to 10 vulnerable families in Karambo site, Gatumba sector. The area was also equipped with clean water, electricity, and an ECD center. Minister Biruta urged beneficiaries to take good care of the facilities. In Huye district, a 1.5-kilometer water pipeline was inaugurated in Mugogwe Cell, Rusatira sector. It costs over 15 million Rwandan francs and includes a new public tap in Mubuga village. Residents said the new water source spares them from using swamp water. In Nyagatare district, Barija Cell, 16 families received new houses. Previously burdened by rent, they praised Rwanda's security institutions for supporting their progress. Eastern Province Governor Prudence Rubingisa encouraged them to continue working together for development. These initiatives, inaugurated during the 31st Liberation Anniversary celebrations, reflect the broader goal of Rwanda's security forces to enhance citizens' quality of life. Security institutions in Rwanda, including the police and the armed forces, have been commended for their continued role as a foundation for national development. This recognition came on Thursday as the latest round of their citizens' support initiatives officially concluded. These initiatives, which began in March 2025, focused on improving the welfare and livelihoods of Rwandans through various development projects, as noted by Rwanda's Minister of Health, Dr. Sabin Nsanzimana.
We support this, we continue to work together, and recognize that it's not only in Goma, but also is happening in other parts of the country with my colleagues and other partners who are also having the same event closing this successful week. We look forward to continue working with you all. Health has no border. Health is universal. So whenever we go, we are called to treat. We are called to help those in need. And this is what is shown in this activity. And that's why we appreciate that East African community is really a community coming together to support each other and to provide the most important gift we received from God, which is health. So we're given health and we preserve health, and we all provide and protect health, not just from a security context, because the main security starts from yourself, from the person itself, from being healthy, then other protection follows. So it's something we've seen in the past, and we appreciate that this is continuing.
The initiatives have had a significant impact across various sectors. Over 40,000 people received medical treatment, more than 70 housing units were constructed for vulnerable families, and over 13 bridges were built to improve accessibility in remote areas. Additionally, more than 10 early childhood education centers were established, and solar-powered electricity was extended to communities previously without access to energy. These outcomes highlight the commitment of Rwanda's security force and their regional partners in the East African community to fostering inclusive development and improving the quality of life for citizens, as pointed out by Veronica Nduva, the Secretary General of the East African Community.
CIMIC activities play a vital role in supporting national development goals. They enhance civil-military collaboration, promote rural economic transformation, improve health services, alleviate poverty, conserve the environment, and ensure food security while fostering goodwill between the defense forces and the civilian population.
These efforts also marked the closing of the Armed Forces Civil-Military Cooperation Week, a joint initiative involving military forces from East African Community member states, carried out in Rwanda with the aim of promoting development and well-being among citizens. The combined contributions of national and regional forces have been hailed as a strong example of how security organs can actively support socio-economic transformation beyond their traditional roles. As Rwandans across the country celebrate the 31st Liberation Anniversary on Friday, the residents of Ndego sector in Kayonza district have been highlighting the vital role Rwanda's security forces have played in their development. Their appreciation is rooted in the recent infrastructure projects officially inaugurated on Thursday, all spearheaded by these security institutions. In Ndego, 2 water tanks with a combined capacity of 20 cubic meters were unveiled, along with a power system that pumps water from the Chibare lake source, replacing the previous practice of fetching water manually. These projects were part of a broader efforts to commemorate the country's liberation and improve local livelihoods. Kayonza District Mayor John Bosco Nyemazi, who noted that access to clean water has significantly transformed the lives of residents in the area. Additionally, Rwanda Defense Force Chief of Defense Staff General Mubarak Muganga oversaw the distribution of cows and goats to local families as part of the livestock support group. Beneficiaries included elderly residents such as 70-year-old Madeline Nimukuze and Perrine Mukansanga, who expressed gratitude for the support. General Muganga emphasized that since the start of the liberation struggle, Rwanda's armed forces have always served as a foundation for the country's development mission that continues this day. These development initiatives, launched on the 3rd of June and carried out in collaboration with regional partner countries under the East African Community Framework, were concluded on Thursday. The projects cost a total of slightly more than 147.5 million Rwandan francs and are part of a larger security-led program to enhance citizen welfare nationwide. As Rwanda concludes a series of development initiatives led by the country's security forces, more than 900 residents living on islands in Lake Urera and Lake Kivu have received modern boats aimed at improving mobility and access to essential services. In Nyamasheke district, the joy was palpable among over 140 families residing on Mushungo Island in Lake Kivu as they received a state-of-the-art boat from the Rwanda National Police and the Rwanda Defense Force. The boat, with a capacity to carry up to 60 passengers, is expected to ease transportation challenges for the island community. Similarly, another boat of the same standard was handed over to 78 families living on Birgwa Island in Burera district. Both boats, worth a combined 19 million Rwandan francs, were provided as part of efforts to enhance the welfare of remote communities. Residents described the initiatives as a life-changing solution. Burera District Mayor Soline Mukama urged the beneficiaries to take good care of the boats, emphasizing their long-term value. Concluding the joint campaign, Inspector General of Police CG Felix Namuhoranye reiterated that these efforts reflect the core mandate of Rwanda's security forces to ensure the well-being and security of the population. In addition to the boat donations, other impactful projects were completed across the country. In Ngororero district, 10 underprivileged families in Gatumba sector were given a fish pond to help them fight poverty and malnutrition. Meanwhile, in Rulindo district, a new water supply system was inaugurated, delivering clean water to Chinzuzi Health Center and nearby households. These initiatives marked the end of a nationwide campaign by Rwanda's military and police to support citizens' socio-economic progress, coinciding with the 31st anniversary of the country's liberation. Tax experts believe that the government's recent decision to introduce VAT on fuel after a long period of exemptions is a strategic move to help close tax revenue gaps and boost the country's economic self-reliance. We have more coming from Adam Squizera.
Across fuel stations in Rwanda, the newly adjusted fuel prices for the next 2 months have taken effect, now incorporating VAT for the first time. A liter of petrol is now being sold at 1,803 Rwandan francs and diesel at 1,757 Rwandan francs. Despite the VAT increment, the managing director of the Petroleum Importers Association of Rwanda, Dr. Joseph Akumono, notes that the government subsidies have helped to prevent prices from rising even further.
So on such way, you see how the government has put much efforts to ensure for us on the side of the business or on the side of the customers are happy. So whatever government has put in place, we have sit together, we have negotiated together, we have made consultation together, so we are okay. So because whatever things happen, it's on interest of the citizens.
Devendra Patrav Singh, a taxation and accounting expert from India based in Rwanda, says the long VAT exemption period helped fuel importers grow, and the reintroduction of this tax will now support the government in closing critical fiscal gaps.
And this hike in petroleum prices, as it is contributing to the national budget, subsequent benefits has to be passed downwards through the different line authorities. For example, Ministry of Infrastructure, which may use this budget for road maintenance or other infra projects as well. At the same time, there's a huge gap of, or rather we can say balance of payment issue. So government would like to capture a bit of it, the fund, to reduce that balance of, or financing the import of it. Because balance of payment is an issue for any country. So I think it's a very strategic move for cutting down some issues associated with balance of payment issues as well, apart from locally benefiting.
Rwanda imports about 60 million liters of petrol and diesel every month, with petrol making up 30% of the volume. The Commissioner for Domestic Taxes at the Rwanda Revenue Authority, Batamuriza Hajara, asked those holding fuel stocks to declare them in order to qualify for the VAT refunds. She also encouraged those not yet registered for VAT to do so.
So, in addition to that, I think what we will do, we'll have to work with taxpayers, try to explain to them the practicalities of how this VAT is going to be collected and how it's going to be remitted to the tax administration, and then help them go through the declarations on a monthly basis accordingly. So I believe as we normally work together with taxpayers, this is not going to be with any complexity. I believe it's going to be as easy as any other new taxes that have been introduced in the previous times. But then I think currently what we would require from taxpayers who really trade in, who are in this sector, we require them to submit to us their opening stock as of today, 6 a.m. because we understand that at the closure of yesterday, 1st of July, they had certain stock that was already in their depot, I mean at the petrol stations. Therefore, the opening stock of today, 2nd July, at 6 a.m., we need those stock. And we have given out, we have sent out some announcements and letters to specific players in the sector to ask them to submit to us their opening stock for today.
VAT is now added on top of existing 50 Rwandan francs per litre fuel levy, aimed at expanding national fuel storage infrastructure, 16 Rwandan francs paid by importers for the same purpose, and 15% customs duty on fuel, which includes insurance and transportation costs used to finance road maintenance. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
The Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement has expressed deep gratitude for the dignity and high level of participation shown by citizens during the 100-day commemoration period that has marked the 31st anniversary of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The ministry has noted that this commemoration period concluded successfully, highlighting that there were districts where no single act reflecting genocidal ideologies was recorded, something it sees as a positive step forward this year. However, it has also reminded Rwandans of the need to remain united in the fight against such ideologies, which still plague the region and continue to be promoted by some national leaders in neighboring countries. The international exhibition World Expo 2025, currently underway in Osaka, Japan, is set to celebrate with the country's 31st liberation anniversary. We have more.
Ahead of this celebration, the Rwandan delegation in Japan visited several pavilions showcasing innovations and achievements from neighboring countries and international organizations. At this global event, each participating country is showcasing its unique innovations and cultural identity, with visitors arriving daily from across the globe. The exhibition offers a platform for international visibility and cooperation. Rwanda is exhibiting its achievements and national progress, with a focus on development and innovation. The overarching theme of this exhibition 2025 is designing future society of our lives, aimed at uniting global efforts toward the better tomorrow. Ambassador Marie-Claire Mukasine, Rwanda's envoy to Japan, Malaysia, the Philippines and Thailand, explained the value of this engagement.
We witnessed a true image of global unity at World Expo 2025, where countries are showcasing their achievements. What stands out is the spirit of collaboration and a shared commitment to a future driven by technology and innovation.
The Minister of Trade and Industry, Prudence Sebahisi, emphasized that Rwanda's participation at Expo Osaka presents a strategic opportunity to promote trade and advanced technologies the country aims to adopt. This is not only about showcasing the country's image, but also about exploring global market opportunities, attracting tourists to visit Rwanda, and encouraging investors to invest in the country. Over 160 countries, including Rwanda, are participating in the Osaka World Expo. On Thursday, a special event dedicated to Rwanda took place to celebrate the 31st anniversary of Liberation Day.
The Ministry of Health has commended the contribution of medical students in Rwanda, organized under the association MedSAR, for their role in addressing health challenges within communities. However, the ministry also urged these students to continue deepening their expertise in treating various diseases. This was emphasized during the annual meeting of MedSAR, a network of medical students from different universities across Rwanda. Some of the students who participated in outreach activities said the experience broadened their knowledge and helped them better understand the health conditions faced by citizens.
They always teach us as doctors, the first thing that we have to learn is to be human, and how to be human is to also be able to talk to a human and to be able to approach a human. And so when we went to the outreaches and we approached the people, that was one big topic that I learned. It wasn't even something, it has to be in our curriculum, talking to people and being a human doctor, not talking to a robot who knows the curriculum only but knows how to talk to people.
UNICEF country representative in Rwanda, Liel van de Wiel, praised the students' efforts, noting that their work gives hope that they will become competent and compassionate doctors.
The theme of this event, gender-based violence and teenage pregnancy, and how to access inclusive services, is exactly and behavioral change approach. So to walk that continuum is super important for them to learn how, when they're later doctors, how to deal with those issues and the role they play. So the fact that they selected this topic is extremely encouraging and just shows that the next generation doctors are really open-minded and aware and will just be even more effective than they are. Yeah.
Dr. Menelas Nyeshimana, Head of Education and Training at the Ministry of Health, encouraged the students to strengthen their skills in various medical specialties so that Rwanda can continue reducing the number of people seeking medical treatment abroad.
Probed the possibilities. If you look, for example, at the kidney transplant service, this is something that was only available abroad. We used to send people to Asia, and while some of them will not even access the care here in Rwanda. But it is the experience that we have recorded. Not only it is possible to replace the kidney for someone in Rwanda, and it can also be done by Rwandans. It does not require anymore to send people outside or to invite people to come and do it on our behalf. If we have such young workforce in pipeline, it's our responsibility to inspire them to take a different track. Kidney transplant, cardiology, open heart surgeries, because they are able to do that, and we have the means to support them throughout.
MedSAR's health outreach activities were carried out in districts including Kirehe, Musanze, Nyagatare, and Huye, where they provided medical services to 49,000 people, including around 30,000 youth. The Rwanda Mountain Gorilla Rally is back, and this Friday the rally all starts in Kigali using roads that connect Kigali Convention Center, Kigali Heights and KBC from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. before proceeding to Bugesera district using the Gako-Gasenyi-Nemba route. On Thursday, organizers carried out a route reconnaissance ahead of the competition. Mr. Musa Locho, an FIA technical delegate, confirms that all safety measures have been implemented and inspected to ensure that the cars have been built to the standard regulations.
We are here to ensure that the cars have been built to standards and regulations for the safety of the FIA. We also ensure that drivers' equipment is up to date and safe to use for rallying. and also we ensure that all the equipment of the car conforms to the regulations of the FIA. As you know, motorsports is very dangerous, so safety comes first. We get challenges, some things have been overlooked, and we have to give competitors guidance and tell them how to rectify, and we give them a window period for them to come back for risk scrutineering again. And if everything is found to be safe and it conforms to regulation, then we pass them and they're ready to rally the following day. Rally drivers are prepared for any weather conditions, and I've been on the roads for several years. You have very good roads. I think we are safe. I don't see the weather playing any negative factor.
The Mountain Gorilla Rally, scheduled for July 4th to 6th, marks the third round of Africa Rally Competition 2025, which commenced in Kenya, the home of the Safari Rally, in March, and traversed via Uganda, which hosted the Pearl of Africa Uganda Rally in May.
Moments. Laying hoops. Giving away. Making moves. Breakfast with family. Inyanje is always there. Whatever the occasion, whatever the moment, always ask for Inyanje.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo wagira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashisha, ariko byaragiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abankomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
Muyobozi wa sosiyete, turakwibutsa ko buri sosiyete isabwa n'itegeko kubika ibitabo bya sosiyete ndetse no gushyikiriza RDB amakuru abikubiyemo. Ibyo bitabo birimo igitabo cy'abanyamigabane, icy'abagenewe inyungu ku migabane, inyandiko y'amakuru ya sosiyete, ibaruramari ngarukamwaka n'izindi. Gutanga amakuru y'ugenewe inyungu ku migabane wanyura kuri bo.rdb.rw, naho gutanga izindi nyandiko ukanyura kuri org.rdb.rw.
Welcome back to other stories making headlines on the international scene. Now, in Denmark is the latest European country to extend compulsory military conscription to women as part of a broader trend toward gender-inclusive service in Northern Europe. Euronews with more.
Which European countries require military service for women? Following away from Northern Europe, Denmark is the latest country to introduce mixed-gender military conscription. Both men and women are now required to take part in Conscription Day, also known as Defense Day. Their participation will be determined by a lottery system, given that there aren't enough volunteers. The length of military service has also been extended from 4 to 11 months. According to a Danish researcher, the decision has been subject to debate.
Une partie de la population, notamment des femmes, trouve cette réforme injuste, mettant en avant d'autres arguments par rapport au fait que ce sont seulement les femmes qui mettent au monde les enfants. Mais pour une grande part de la population, c'est aussi important que les femmes aient accès au service militaire à égalité des hommes.
In Europe, military service is compulsory for men in 10 countries, including in Finland, Cyprus, and Greece. The Norwegian parliament voted to extend conscription to women in 2013. It was implemented in 2016. And in Sweden, military service has been mixed since 2017.
L'armée a mis en place plusieurs mesures. Ils ont d'abord essayé de voir quelle était l'étendue des problèmes par rapport aux harcèlements sexuels et à la discrimination des femmes au sein de l'armée. Et ils ont été assez clairs que c'était des comportements qui étaient malvenus dans l'armée.
Some have also expressed to be in favor of universal military service in Latvia and Lithuania. Women are already integrated into professional armies and represent around 10% of military personnel in Europe.
With US-China trade tensions rising, American firms are looking elsewhere. Europe could become a key player in the shift. Euronews once more.
How could the US-China trade rearrangement affect Europe? Amid the pressures posed by unpredictable US-China trade relations, many US firms are considering alternative supply sources to avoid rising prices. Europe could play a key role in this trade rearrangement, both as an exporter and an importer. On average, Europe already supplies 55% of the available global export market for products that the United States imports from China. According to simulations conducted by McKinsey, Europe could potentially replace about 30% to 65% of US imports from China with its own exports, even in the face of high US tariffs on European goods. Europe's role in this scenario is most pronounced when it comes to electronics, other manufacturing, and textiles. These are the same sectors for which the US currently imports heavily from China. Another example is toys. Europe could supply the US market with Czech and German toys rather than toys made in China. Meanwhile, European consumers might increasingly buy Chinese-made toys. As Europe has increased its exports to the US, it has also become a significant destination for Chinese exports, absorbing up to 55% of China's current shipments to the US. This shift could lead to deeper trade interdependence between Europe and China, as well as geopolitical tensions.
And that Euronews marks the end of our bulletin. Before we close off, let's have a recap of our headlines. Security institutions in Rwanda, including the police and the armed forces, have been commended for their continued role as a foundation for national development. The Ministry of National Unity and Civic Engagement has expressed deep gratitude for the dignity and high level of participation shown by citizens during the 100-day commemoration period that has marked the 31st anniversary of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. On the international scale, Denmark is the latest European country to extend compulsory military conscription to women as part of a broader trend toward gender-inclusive service in Northern Europe. And on that note, on behalf of the technical team as well as the news production team, we'd like to thank you very much for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Abera, and until next time, stay safe and have a good night.